EA Sports WRC is the spiritual successor of Codemasters' much-loved Dirt Rally series, and now it's carrying the weight of the official WRC license. This game's really stretching its legs towards being one of the best rally titles in years. But despite this, some of the default racing wheel settings aren't overly optimized in my opinion. In this video, I'm going to run through some more optimized wheel settings which I found work really well with the CSL DD. First off, I'll start with the in-game settings. Now I've gone with 0 on the steering linearity, which just keeps the steering really true one-to-one sort of linearity from what you're doing, the inputs you're making to the wheel in-game. Then head over to the vibration, make sure it's turned on, and I've set the self-aligning torques at 80, and this is for the 5 Nm CSL DD. If you're running the 8 Nm DD or the GT DD, then you can lower this down. I'd say around 65 is probably the equivalent for the higher powered wheel. Wheel friction, I've gone with 20 and I've gone with 45 on the tyre friction. These two settings make your racing wheel just kind of feel a bit too heavy and sluggish. I am adding some form of like damping and friction, so lowering both of these will just kind of help your wheel come to life a bit more. For the suspension, I've gone with 90. I've lowered it a touch from the default of 100. This will kind of dictate how your wheel feels as you're bouncing over bumps and things. For the tyre slip, I've gone with 85 and I've gone with 95 on the engine. Then for collision, I've gone with 60, but this is kind of personal preference. You can increase this if you like the sensation of your wheel kind of hitting you as you hit something. Higher settings will simply make your force feedback kind of jolt a bit more. And then the soft lock, I've kept at 100, but this is kind of personal preference to whether you like a hard lock or a soft lock as you reach full rotation of your wheel. Then for the steering center force, I've kept it on. I've kept the scale at 100 as well. Again, personal preference. All this does is reset your wheel to center. When you reset your car or start a new stage, it really doesn't affect the in-game performance. I'll also overlay now the actual wheel settings I'm using through Fanatec, which you can tune on the wheel itself if you're running on an Xbox or PS5. Again, these settings are just designed to make your wheel kind of come to life a little bit more, not be quite so sluggish, but also not overwhelm you with detail, because this game is different from kind of track-based games like F1 and ACC, because you're constantly going over rough surfaces, your wheel will constantly be shaken about, so you don't want to be overwhelmed with just vibration 24/7. So these settings kind of have that middle ground between reactive steering, but also not overwhelming you just with pointless force feedback. Let me know in the comments below how you find these settings, what settings you're using, if you're using something different, and also let me know if you're enjoying this new WRC game. As always, if you enjoy this content, I'd much appreciate it if you hit that like button or consider subscribing. But for now, I will see you guys on track.